All right, getting to the 2018 U.S. Open played at Shinnecock Hills. At the U.S. Open, it is T60 or better. Real quick, I want to do a story of last year at the U.S. Open. Justin Rose burned me. I was there watching at Erin Hills on 18 when he three-putted to miss the cut. That hurt me a lot. I had some good exposure to him. But anyways, that's just a quick story. We'll touch on Justin Rose in a little bit here. But quick, let's do a recap of last week. We extended our streak to 14 straight weeks of picking the winner. We also had 4 of our core guys in the top 10, so that was pretty nice. That being DJ, Austin Cook, Chris Kirk, and Ches Reavy. Another one of my good calls was saying play Chris Kirk over Luke List. Chris Kirk finished T6, Luke List finished T56, so that was another good call. And then 100% of our value plays made the cut, so that was pretty nice. It was another good week for us. Looking to extend it to 15 straight weeks of picking the winner. Let's hope we can do it at this U.S. Open. Getting into some of the key stats, we are going to be looking at the U.S. Open history, but also just the major history for these players. Strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained to the green. We're going to be looking at accuracy off the tee, and then strokes gained putting. Those are going to be the core stats that I'll be looking at. A little bit of bogey avoidance, but those will be my core stats I'm looking at. Getting to the high tier players here, you can really touch on any of them that are up there, including players that are not in this player pool here. But the ones I'm going to concentrate on are going to be Dustin Johnson. He's made 5 straight starts of T17 or better. Same thing could be said about Justin Thomas. The only thing you worry about him is slightly with his accuracy off the tee. He has done 14 out of 15 straight tournaments inside the top 22. Ricky Fowler, he's just in terrific shape. He finished T5 on a comparable course. Erin Hills, it's just a little bit wider fairways on that course than this one. He is checking all the boxes. Justin Rose will be an extreme chalk play. He's 6 out of his last 8 tournaments, he's made the top 20, and then he's in his last 2, he's been T6, and then he's also won. So he's in terrific form. He checks all the boxes on this course. And then Brooks Koepka, he's just a course horse for the U.S. Open. He's won it T13, 18, and T4. So he's just in good form as well. Getting to the mid-tier plays here, all these guys are great for you to play. Louis Oosthuizen and then Brandon Grace are going to be guys that you want to target if it's going to be windy. The course is going to be a little bit tougher to play. Stenson, though, he is just the course fit. He is overall the best course fit based on the model that I ran. He's made 12 of 13 straight cuts. He's 19th in strokes gained off the tee. His accuracy is number 1, and he's number 1 in strokes gained to the green. So he's terrific form. And then Paul Casey is a guy I want to touch on. He's just way too cheap. He's going to be chalky, but I think you got to pay the chalk. I just don't see how you avoid it. Obviously, Bryson DeChambeau, he's in great form. He is a good course fit. We'll just see how he does on the U.S. Open. Getting to the lower tier plays here, I do not know why Matt Kuchar, the cut maker, he's done really well on majors and just in the U.S. Open in general. So he played poorly a couple weeks ago, but now he's back into good form. Keegan Bradley is another guy that's checking all the boxes. If you're playing Adam Scott, you might as well just pay down and go to Keegan Bradley. They're both kind of checking all the same boxes. They just can't putt. Matthew Fitzpatrick is a really good player on the European Tour. He is in good current form. If this were a European Tour event, his price would probably be $1,000 more expensive. Ian Poulter's checking all the boxes as well. I do really like Poulter here. He's a top 60 in every category, so he is in good form as well. Kyle Stanley's a driving guy. Rafa Cabrera-Bello, he's a world-class player. He's a little bit too cheap. And Brian Harman, we know what he did last year. He's a guy that can hit long and straight. He's been putting really well. He's T2 last year at that comparable course at Erin Hills like I talked about. The tournament plays here are all guys that, they appeal to me. I just won't have as much exposure. Players like Adam Scott, like I mentioned, his putter is just slacking a little bit. Webb Simpson doesn't have the best current form. Same with Berger and Finau. They're both coming up a missed cut. I think that could be just because they're overlooking that tournament. One guy that I probably should have just taken out of here is going to be Jimmy Walker. The only reason I left him in here is because he's not that big of a hitter off the tee, and I think that's also why he missed the cut at last year's Erin Hills. I know he had his Lyme's disease, so that could also be a reason why. But all those guys are going to be decent tournament options for you. If you find yourself in that range and looking for someone, just look at those guys. They'll be a good, nice tournament option. But getting to the value plays here, these are some of the really bad mispriced players by DraftKings. I really don't get it. Zach Johnson, he's a really good player. Yes, his current form isn't the greatest, but he's a cut maker along with Adam Hadwin in there. They're both really good cut makers. Hadwin has 0 missed cuts. Zach Johnson has 1. Emiliano Grillo, though, way too cheap. I do not believe it. He is the second best player, according to my model, course fit-wise. He has 0 missed cuts, and he has just been on fire this year. I do not get that at all. Steve Stricker, he's in great form. Last year, he was a T16 at the U.S. Open. It's another comparable course. The only thing you worry about him is a little bit of a burnout. He's been playing a lot of golf lately, and he's a little bit older, so that's the only concern. Brandon Steele, he's in good shape. Last 2 times he's played this, He had 13 and 15. So Paolo, he's obviously a course fit. And then Ches Reavie, I do really like him this week. So go ahead and get your Reavie shares again. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video here. Going to be a good US Open for us. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Going to be posting more each week. Thank you.